and welcome to Dickinson's Real Deal. On this show, I help members of the public get the very best price for their antiques and valuables. I give you a choice. Sit down with one of our regular dealers. They'll try and tempt you with a cash offer on the table today.
Like to put a bit more on.
I bet you would.
If I don't think that's enough money, there's an alternative. Place the same goods into an auction in the hope that we'll get a little bit more money there. Today, the show comes to you from Bury in Lancashire. There's a fantastic crowd of people here. They want to do business. They want to walk away with the real deal.
We've seen a few teddy bears being sold on the Real Deal, but Bruno the bear might tug at your heartstrings more than most.
Tell me about Bruno.
Well, my mother bought him for me for Christmas when I was 9. I'd seen him in a store and I didn't know. She went on the post for Christmas, working extra, and brought Bruno home for Christmas.
So you woke up Christmas morning and there he was?
And there he was, the bear in the shop.
Well, let's have a look at him. He's a beautiful British bear, blonde mohair, and he's got a label, and he's a Chad Valley.
Yes.
Chad Valley, 1950...
51, is it? 50?
Yeah, yes. 1951. And he's beautiful. I mean, he's got such character. Look at him, big, strong, bear-like stance and lovely ears. And he looks like he is listening.
Yeah.
Doesn't he? He looks like, you know... Oh, he's lovely. He's absolutely lovely.
I've looked after him.
He's beautifully looked after. No wear, well, a little bit of wear. We've given them the loads of cuddles and so on. But he's a love. These bears do have a value, obviously.
Yes.
And to you, he has a huge value. I'm looking from an antique point of view, from an antique dealer's point of view. So I'm going to put some money on the table.
All right.
I think he's lovely. So I'm going to try hard. You've got 20, 40, 60, 80. There's £100 on the table.
No.
She's shaking her head. No.
No, sorry.
He's worth a lot more to you, isn't he?
Yes. It's hard to part, actually.
I can feel it's really hard for you to part. Here's David to help.
Now, I heard the story about this being your Christmas present.
Yes.
And Mum doing extra shifts to get it for you.
On post, yes.
What's on the table is a reasonable offer. I think because of his condition, I think he's worth a little bit more than that. Are you sure you want to part with Teddy? Because we don't normally do this on this programme. We normally say, go on, off to auction you go. I'm going to say, do you really want to part with him? You see what I mean, don't you?
Well, it's hard. It's hard.
Think about it.
It pains me to agree with him, but I would think it would be a really sad thing to part with him. I'm going to put some more money on the table, and you can say yes.
Yes.
I'm not going to bully you. It's 120. I'm putting down 140 on the table. But in my heart, I think that's no money. Could add a little tiny remark to the end. If you want, if you sell it to me,
Yes.
and you 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month down the line, want him back,
Yes.
you can phone me and I'll send him back.
All right, I'll sell it.
You're going to sell him.
I'll sell it.
On the understanding that at any time you can have him back.
Okay.
If you really miss him, you can
That's
have him
fair
back.
of you.
You're happy with that?
Thank you. Yes.
You sure?
Do you know, I never thought I'd hear that from an antique dealer on my programme. That here you are, here's the money, but if you want Teddy back, all you have to do is call and I'll give you Teddy back. So
But you have to give me the
either
money
way,
back.
it's I think this is a real deal, a proper deal, a caring deal.
So we have a deal.
All right, then.
We have a deal.
Thank you very much.
So has Christine made the right decision selling Bruno?
When I leave him, I'll be very sad. In fact, I feel terribly guilty, but I've made a decision and I know it'll be the right one.
Now, the Duke always says you're never too young to start in this game. Can the kid outdeal Cheryl?
And what's your name?
Seamus.
Seamus, welcome to the programme. So what brings you here today?
Well, my grandparents decided to sell this figure.
This one here, yeah?
Yeah. They want some money so me and my sister can share it between us.
Why have they chosen this one to bring today?
Well, in the house they've got modern things and it doesn't look very modern.
Where did they get it from, do you know?
My grandma got it from my great-grandma.
So that's quite sentimental then, it's been passed down the family.
Yeah.
And you didn't fancy keeping it then, Seamus?
No.
It's not really a very boy thing, is it?
No.
Well, it's very, very, very pretty. Two girls. First of all, I thought they were ice skating, but I think they're dancing, aren't they? They look like they're dancing. So let's have a look here. It's actually got quite a sort of 1930s, 1940s look to it. We'll look under here, and it says Ween, which doesn't ring a bell. Looking at the mark, it's going to be a lot later than I actually thought. So although it looks like it's from the 1930s, this could maybe be just from the 60s, 70s, or even the 1980s. So to me as an antique dealer, this is quite modern, really. Although it probably seems very old to you if something's 30 or 40 years old.
Yeah.
Right, let's get some money out then. So, how about 10, 20, let's have a look here. £25.
A bit more than that.
A bit more than that. So I'll put another 5 down, Seamus. That's £30. And I'm going to put another 10 down. So that's £40.
Right, now, I've just spoken to your granddad. He says this: it is your choice. Whatever you want to do, either take the cash or gamble and go to auction. So this is a tricky question. What do we do? 10, 20, 30, 40. I wonder if we could get another £5 off Cheryl. I wonder if we did, you know, that. Please, Cheryl, please. If we could get another £5, I think I'd say take that and don't gamble, because then you're going home to split that with your sister. So please, Cheryl.
So you've heard what David said, Seamus. Now, if I manage to find another £5, which I wouldn't normally do, but I really like you and you're dead cute, would you shake my hand and have we got a deal?
Yes.
Right, okay. Right, here's a £5. £45. Deal?
Deal.
Well done.
Seamus, you're a born dealer. Across on another table, a rather striking lady might have found an admirer in David Tupman.
And who's your friend here?
This is Dolores.
Dolores. Very pleased to meet you, Dolores.
Yes, that's what my father, he called it. It belonged to him. And he was a hairdresser. So was his father, and his father before him. And I've just retired after 52 years.
She's been in the loft for a lot of years.
Oh, really? So she's been hidden away?
She's been hidden away, yeah, and I think it's time that she went on to somebody else who can enjoy her.
And so we think that this was made, what, in the 20s?
Something, I think.
To demonstrate the wigs in the window of your grandfather's shop or your father's shop?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's extraordinary. She's very sculptural, wonderful glass eyes. And if we turn her around, we can see that she's got netting on the back of her head, which is presumably where you'd sew the wig to it.
Yeah, well, you'd fasten it to it, yeah.
In your memory, you could never remember it having wigs on. It's always been in this condition.
No, my father said he had a wig, but over the years it had gone missing.
Unfortunately, she's only got half a nose. You know, when did that happen? Has that happened recently?
I'm not quite sure when that's happened, but it's...
I think at least we have the piece.
There's the piece.
And it fits reasonably well. So I think that could probably be done. Although I'm not quite sure how you restore wax. Okay, well, I'm going to fish in my pocket and see if I can tempt her away from you. 20, 40, 60, 80, £100.
No.
No.
Is that
It's a family heirloom.
but she's been in the attic for a while.
Oh, she's worth more than that.
Are you looking for a lot more than that, or sort of reasonably close?
Don't know really.
Don't know really.
We want more than that.
We want more than that.
I'm just going to put down a little more money. I'm going to put down 120, 130 pounds, but I think that's getting quite close to my limit. On the basis it's going to have some restoration. There's problems to be sorted out before she's saleable. Lovely figure, but that's about all I want to pay.
I'm happy. Are you happy?
I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm happy.
You sure?
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much indeed for bringing her in.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also coming up, the Duke gives some firm advice.
If no more money comes along on the table, you and I will be going to the auction, sir.
But things don't quite turn out the Duke's way. What's gone wrong? Find out in a moment.
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal.
And Bury townsfolk are still arriving through the door, David. Let's join Ian.
Hi, I'm Ian.
Hi, I'm Caroline.
Caroline. Very nice name, Caroline. And what do you have in this box? Shall we reveal? Wow. 2 opposite spoons, a pair of opposite spoons.
Yep.
How did you get hold of them? In a car boot sale?
No, they've been in the family.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay, tell us a little bit about it.
They were my husband's grandparents, and they've had them for a long time. And then Brett got them when they...
And so you've had them for how long?
About 4 years.
And why are you selling them, if it's not a rude question?
Because they've just been put away. We don't do anything with them.
You never use them?
No, we don't use them. They're not out on show. It's just a shame.
They're made in Chester, 1908. Okay. They're in very nice condition, and what is nice even was a better still, in a box, in a presentation box. I'm a sucker for things in boxes because I feel that when somebody buys it and they want to give it to somebody as a gift, it's such an easy thing to pack. So money-wise, I'd say 50, 100, 120. So what would you like to do?
I'd like to put a bit more on.
I bet you would. Everybody would like a lot more. It's just that I have to think of reselling it. I mean, what sort of figure did you have in mind?
About 140.
About 140?
Yeah.
Well, that's much more than I would want to spend on it. What if we split it? I say 130. I think it's a very fair offer. I put the £10 there. Do I have a dinner? I do. My God, you're lucky. There you go. 130 on the table. And I think it's a very good offer.
Right, okay.
You're happy with 130? Do you want to consult the family? 130. And your cool husband has said yes. So we have a deal.
It's
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Sitting on Cheryl's table are a couple of paintings, but it's actually Stuart who's going to be the star attraction here.
So you brought along today a pair of watercolours.
That's right, yeah.
And what's your story?
Well, I got these 1986. They were to complement a picture on slate, which I still have. But the powers that be tell me that we're having a change of decor. Ah, right, yeah.
Okay. So here in this corner, J.L. Harding, 1840. Have you done your homework, Stuart?
Well, he was sort of born supposedly 1780, something like that.
So he's a British artist.
Yeah.
But these don't really look like British scenes to me.
No, well, I think at that time the artists travelled abroad, didn't
As many
they?
did. We've got this turret here and the boat, the lake, castle up here. Nice condition.
Yeah.
And the one down here, sort of a city scene as well.
Yeah.
I'm finding scenes like this a little bit like your wife. People are slightly going off. They're wanting something a little bit different. Let's get the cash. We won't mess about. We use these ones. 50, £100.
Which one did you want? No.
You're not impressed?
No, not really.
No. What shall I do? 150. I know it sounds mean, Stuart, but these things are just not doing it at the moment. David!
Stuart, I heard that. I know it sounds mean. Yes, it does sound mean, Stuart. Let me tell you what the independent valuers and the auctioneer say.
Oh, I wish you wouldn't.
Nice quality. They say 180 to 250, 200 to 300. They are original watercolours, and I think at a couple of £100, they're cheap as chips. So if no more money comes along on the table, you and I will be going to the auction, sir.
Right, sir. Wow. Now
Well,
you heard that from David. Come on now.
I've heard it, but Stuart, I'm going to stick to my mean bid. They're just not doing it for me.
Well, Cheryl, I'll have to go to auction.
Oh, well, the very best of luck. It's been
Thanks
a pleasure
very
to
much.
meet you.
Now you all heard the Duke in that deal. They're worth more.
You sat down with Cheryl and she offered you £150.
She did.
Now,
yes.
what did you think about that offer?
Well, I didn't think it was so bad, actually. And I was just going to accept it.
I thought he was going to say rubbish, actually, but go
No,
on.
I was just going to accept it, and this guy came in, waxing lyrical about the painters, telling me, get them to auction, £200 or £300. I'd like to, I've been looking for him. They say he's here today. Where he is, I'd like to have a word with him
You
about
see,
it.
he's trying to, like, lay it on the Duke, because the Duke came in and said, good artist, well known, should bring more, get off to sale. You know what this is setting up for, don't you? This is setting up in case there's a fall. If it doesn't sell, it means egg on face
Well,
of the Duke.
If they do sell, you can knock me over with a feather, I'll tell you.
Okay. I think they are commercial, desirable, and should do better. But it could well be a bit of grovelling is needed at the end of this session. They're coming up now. Let's see what happens.
What should we say? 200 to start. 200. Pair of watercolours, 200. 150 if you like. £150. Anybody interested? Start me somewhere. Start me at 120 then. Come on, it's nice and low at 120. Start me somewhere.
Nice and low at 120.
That's somebody bidding down there, just waving. 120 then. Well, I can't sell at that, ladies and gentlemen. I have no bid. Have to withdraw them.
Now, this is the part of the programme you don't normally see. This is the part of the programme where
You got me into again.
there's a little bit of grovelling needed here. Stuart,
Yeah.
I still believe they're very nice, but on the day they didn't sell because the right bidder was not here in the room. I'm holding my head down a bit, mate. I hope that's enough contrition from me.
I wish to say I brought my own feather just in case.
He's even brought his own feather, that you could knock him down with the feather if they sold. So, on the day, they didn't make their money. Cheryl, you were on the money. The Duke was wrong.
Back in the dealer's den, Carol's brought in a little station doll. Now, why station? Corrie will explain.
Now, how did you come by it?
I look after an old chap I've done for 10, 15 years. And he gave me that about 8 years ago.
And how did he come by it?
I believe he was an ambulance man and he was stationed in Germany during the Second World War. And he brought it back for his late wife.
And he just gave it to you?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's have a little look at it. It is adorable. I'm going to turn it over and look at the back of its head. And on the back, there are two letters, AM, which stand for Armand Marseille. French makeup, but working in Germany. So it's a German doll, German factory. And it's the size that's so adorable about this doll.
Yeah.
It's just so cute.
Yeah.
And this one's got a lovely little pouty mouth and little serious eyes. And the interesting thing is that these small porcelain-headed dolls were often sold in railway stations.
All right.
And they were sold for men coming home or people that were on a journey and they wanted to bring something home for their wife or their children. So they're often called station dolls. So I'm going to lay him down gently, go to sleep, little baby boy. I'm going to put 20, 40, 60. She's pursing her lips. No. 80.
A little bit more.
I think 80 is not a bad offer.
Would you not go just a tad?
90 on the table. I think I've made a fair offer because I want to buy the doll. I love it.
Well, I were looking for 100, but he's only in a drawer, so yes, we have a deal.
We have a deal.
We do. Thank you very much.
Coming up, a seller so determined to get her own way, she's handling the cash.
If you put another pink one down instead of that one, we'll have a deal.
A battle of wills, but which one will break first? Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal from Bury in Lancashire. Jackie's brought Cheryl a pair of flamenco dancers, and they've caught the eye of the Duke and auctioneer Max Blackmore. So, with a quick ole, let's see what happens.
I'm thinking the Murano, but I'll let you tell me.
As far as I know, the Murano, they're signed by the maker, which is Toffolo. Can't really tell you much more, they've just come down through the family. My father did travel a lot for his business, so whether he brought them back from a trip.
And have you inherited these?
Yeah,
then?
myself and my sister. We don't want to split them, they're a pair, they need to be together.
They are really, really attractive. I'm looking at them thinking date-wise, are they around the 1960s?
Late 50s, early 60s, I would think, I would imagine.
I mean, the subjects, you've got the flamenco dancers, but this glass almost looks like sort of toffee. You could almost like eat these, really.
The first thought that crossed my mind when I saw these coming in was, are they kitsch? Are they quality? Do they have style? Do I like them? And the longer I've looked at them, Max, the more I think they're actually quite a stylish bit of art glass in a way. What do you think about them?
Very 1950s, aren't they? Very
Yes.
1950s. And I think the class comes from the fact that the colours are restrained. So much Murano glass is well over the top with gaudy colours, but these are quite classy, as you say.
I like them. Let's see what Cheryl says.
Jackie, have you any idea of the value of these?
I mean, I've got a bit of an idea, but obviously...
Okay,
yeah.
well, I'll put some money down, see what you think. Okay, 50, 100. No?
No.
150.
No, I don't think so.
Is that
I think that's
a no-no?
That's a no-no. Might be splitting them at that rate.
Oh. Here's David.
Not for everybody, but I'm going to say very attractive. They are Murano glass. They are signed Toffolo. £200 to £300 is the general estimation. I have to say I quite like them.
Yeah.
And I think they could be well received in the sale room. I think certainly more than 150. So I'm going to say within that £200 to £300 range, I think that's where the estimation should be.
Yeah. So, 200, is that any more tempting?
Getting a bit nearer.
A bit nearer. 220, Jackie. Now that's to go a little bit more at auction to return that.
If you put another pink one down instead of that one, we'll have a deal.
What if I put that down, Jackie? Go on then, give me a chance. 240.
Oh, go on, another tenner.
Take the 240.
250.
You're driving a hard bargain.
I am.
I think I like them for 240.
I prefer them at 250.
I'm going to shake hands if I take that away and put that one there.
Yeah.
So you've got your 250.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Cheryl.
Drive a hard bargain.
Hope you enjoy them.
Well, you might have lost the battle of wills, Cheryl, but you must be happy to have the Venice-made figurines.
Well, I've ended up with this pair. I'm not sure if I really like them or not. I'm either going to earn a little bit of profit or blow a lot of money, or David's going to get them for Christmas. It could be coming your way.
Well, we'll find out at the end of the show whether Cheryl manages to find a buyer. Right, let's head over to Corrie's table.
I'm your dealer today.
Pleased to meet you.
And you've got a matched pair of little wristwatches.
Yes, that's right.
And they're in their original boxes, and they've got their original little guarantees.
Yeah.
So I'm going to open this guarantee and find out what year. 21st of January 1971.
Yeah.
Why have you got two the same?
They belong to my two aunts. My two aunts worked at the same factory for 35 years. These were both long service gifts in 1971.
And do you remember them?
Yeah, very well, yeah. We grew up, me and my mum lived next door. We both lived to the 90s, never got married, worked together, lived together.
Well, I can see they treasured them, because look, they're absolutely immaculate. Let's have a look at one. I'm going to take it out. And there it is, inscribed on the back, to T. Johns, 1971. And it's 9-carat gold. And you've brought them along today to sell them. As you know, gold has gone up and up in the last couple of years, and these are 9-carat gold straps. So although these fine ladies' wristwatches are very, very pretty, they are not in fashion. The shame is that you cannot get the right price for them. You're getting the price of the gold. It's not for the watch, not for the article. You understand that, do you? So I believe there's about, what, 30 grams of gold?
So I believe,
yeah. Taking away the movements.
Yeah.
Let me think. We're going to put down 50, 100, 150, 200, 250. Are we near?
A fair way there, a fair way there.
Be fairly near. You've got 270 on the table. I'm going to put another 20 down. Now you'd have to get well over 300.
Yeah.
And I am very near the edge here.
Okay.
How do you feel?
I still think they're worth a bit more.
I'm going to put another 20 on, and that's it. So you've got 310. That's at 155 each.
I think I'll risk it and go to auction then.
So I wish you the very best of luck.
The watches have arrived in the sale room on time and are seconds away from going under the hammer. David?
We've separated them into two lots to try and affect the best price. There could be two individuals that want to buy one each, and so we hope to get the best price. The first lot's coming up now, the Ladies Amiga watch. Here it is now.
I have to start at 130, 140, 150.
It's at the reserve.
160 a bid, sir. 160, it's with you now. 170 a fresh bid. 170 with the lady. Your bid, madam, at 170. Any further bids?
First one's gone down at £170. Can we get the second watch away? There's a slight bit of damage on the bracelet. Let's find out.
I have quite a lot of interest on commission, and I will have to start it at £135.
So straight in at 135. 140.
140 in the room. The commissions are all out. 150. 150 gentlemen seated up here. Are you bidding at the back now? No? £150 are in the room and selling. No interest on the net. £150 then at the back and seated.
Gavel has just gone down at 150 quid. Now, if you put that with the previous lot, the total is £320. You're happy?
Yes, I'm happy, yeah.
The time we deduct the commission, I think that's £272, which is slightly less than what Corrie offered you.
Let's head back into the dealer's den and see what Ian's got for us.
A pretty little pendant, late Victorian, probably Edwardian. Is it yours? Or how did you get it?
No, it's a friend's sister, actually. She's had it for quite a while. It's been sort of sitting around in a drawer for quite a while. I don't really know a great deal about it myself, actually. I think it's Edwardian.
It is Edwardian.
You said that before.
Yes, it is Edwardian.
Apart from that, it's a pendant. It's one on a chain.
It's a little pendant. It's garnet. It's 9-carat gold and little split pearls. They used to be very popular 15, 20 years ago. Now, they're not that easy to sell. But, you know, I always think they make for a girl a very pretty present for her engagement or christening or for confirmation and things like that.
Right.
It's a very feminine thing. You know, on a little gold chain, it looks very pretty.
It is, yeah.
You know.
It is.
You have to make the decision on the price, and I have to make a decision as to what I'm going to pay you.
Find that out in a minute.
You're going to find that out in a minute. I hope so. It's not all this.
Oh, right, okay.
No, definitely
No,
not.
I wouldn't think it would.
Well, this is going to sound strange or mean to you, I don't know. So, 20, 40, £45.
Instructed to take a bit more than that.
How much more, may I ask?
The 20 on top of
Another
that.
20?
Yeah.
As much as that?
Yeah.
I must be stupid. So we're going to call it 65.
Yeah.
It's cool for you, see. Yeah, it's my money. I'm going to give you 65 to give to your friend's sister.
Okay.
So we can shake on it and call it a deal.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
And I hope she enjoys the money
Thank
and
you.
buys something really nice.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Coming up, our final seller needs enough money to fly around the world.
Right.
I want to go and see my daughter again in New Zealand.
But how far will David Tuckman's offer get her? Find out in a moment.
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal from Bury in Lancashire.
It's the final deal of the day, and David Tuckman's table is elegantly adorned with a pair of silver candlesticks and the equally elegant Marjorie.
A wonderful pair of silver candlesticks. Can you tell us about them?
They were a present from my ex-mother-in-law when I was 21.
Right.
And they've been with me ever since. They've had a lot of use both on my mantelpiece and at dinner parties. And I've always loved them very, very much.
And why have you decided to get rid of them today?
Purely and simply because I want to go and see my daughter again in New Zealand. On next year she graduates as a junior school teacher, and I want to be there for her graduation.
So fantastic. So to go towards the airfare.
Yes.
And do you know exactly what you have here?
I was told a long time ago that they were George II. I know that George II was the last monarch who ever went into battle.
Right.
And other than that, I don't know anything.
Well, let's have a look. I'm going to have to put my glasses on because I can't see anything about that. Let's look here at the bottom. And the hallmarks are actually Sheffield, 1798.
Right.
Which is actually George III.
Oh, right.
Okay, so
Right.
a little bit later than maybe you thought, but they're 18th century, which is lovely. And we have there the maker, but it's rather rubbed on this candlestick. So let's have a look at the other candlestick. And in fact, the maker is even more rubbed there. We can't see who the maker is, but we might, if we look at the sconce, get a better idea. And here we have IW&Co, which is actually John Winter, who was a reasonably well-known maker. And we have the maker's name and the hallmark on that sconce. And we have here number 3. So we know that there were more than 2 of these to start off with. There may have been a set of 4, there may have been a set of 6, but at some point they've been split up by the family, and one brother's had 2, the other brother's had 2, whatever. If we look at the other sconce, we might see what number this has, but looking round, it's got actually no number and no hallmark either. So that means that this particular part, it looks as if the sconce itself is original, but this part has been replaced at some point, which affects the value a bit, but not that much. For candlesticks of this age, they're in terrific condition. Normally, if they've been polished and polished and polished, all this, because they're hollow inside, all this silver tends to rub through and you'll get holes in them. And although I think I saw a couple of little holes in the top, they're in really remarkably good condition. So let's bung some money on the table and see if I can prize them out of you. Right, we better get the red ones out.
Oh, yes.
50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, 450, 500, 550, 600, 600, 700, 800 pounds.
That's very nice, but I think
is that more or less than you thought you'd get?
It's less than I thought.
Oh.
Sorry. If you can go a bit higher.
Well, I've been a little open about them, that I really want to buy them. So let's put down another 100, 900 pounds.
Can you put another 50 on?
Well, let's see
well,
what
just
David has to
before you commit yourself, which you already have, and I shan't interfere in that, I've spoke with our independent valuers and auctioneer, and I've tried to get a good average of what they say. They all seem to say there's £1,000 worth of sticks there. But you've asked for 950, and if David, our dealer, wants to accept, the deal's over.
950 I'd be prepared to do. And I think that's a sort of fairly middle of the road bid, whereby I can probably squeeze a little bit more out of them, and you can walk away with £950 in your pocket.
Sounds good.
But I want you to be happy. I don't want you to be
that's
miserable.
fine.
So if I put that 50 down, £950, have we got a deal, Margaret?
Yes.
And are you going to go away happy?
Yes.
Good, because so am I. So thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Well, a happy seller and a happy buyer. Just how we like to leave it. Now, how did the rest of the dealers do today? Corrie sold the doll to a collector for 110, and as promised, Bruno the bear is sitting with Corrie's toys in case his mummy wants him back. Cheryl hasn't sold anything, including those flamenco figures.
I'm either going to earn a little bit of profit or blow a lot of money, or David's going to get them for Christmas.
Guess what might be under the Duke's Christmas tree? And Ian hasn't sold anything either. David Tupman's been offered £1,000 for the candlesticks, but turned it down as he thinks he can get more. And what about Dolores? Well, she's still in hospital having her nose job and thinks this will restart her glamorous career. We wish you well, Dolores.
We've had a great day here in the sale room. There's been lots of action, just the way we like it. Lots of bidding and lots of buying. Don't forget to join me, David Dickinson, next time for Dickinson's Real Deal. See you.